Hi everyone, as we wrap up our June videos, this last video I'm going to talk about planning. I really recommend you revisiting your why. That's all the reasons that you wrote down of why you are choosing to homeschool. I will drop a link in the description or the comments from some resources that I love for writing out my why. And anything else that you want to add to your why that you have already created, just add to it as you come up with them. Maybe you thought of something else, just jot it down in there so you can continue to encourage yourself on those hard days. Before I start planning, I pray that God would show me what He really wants me to focus on. I like to incorporate like character traits and hymns in our homeschool, so praying specifically for God to show you what He wants you to do with your family is a great place to start, obviously. And then I also like to create a schedule and kind of plan out the school day. You want to decide when your start and finish days are, when your start and finish times are. We usually try and wrap up breakfast and start school by 9:30 and usually try to be done by 12. And I really like the idea of doing Labor Day to Memorial Day. I've just never done it yet. So kind of have an idea in your head of what you want to do for your schedule, what you want to accomplish during your school day. And this is like a rough idea, unless you want to be like a schedule person and write down exact times. That's not my style. I thought it would be, but it is totally not. So whatever works for you, just come up with some kind of plan that you can have in place come school time. And I like to have this kind of ongoing process, thinking in my head throughout the month of June, really nail it down, and then I can really relax and enjoy the month of July and most of August before we start up. So I'm already kind of still in the school mode, and then I'm just kind of extending for next year, and then I go on summer break. Instead of going on summer break and then trying to gear up my brain and get ready, it doesn't work very well. So I like to have it kind of in place before I officially take my break and enjoy my summer. You also want to map out your curriculum. So in school, we call this the scope and sequence. So if you want to finish your reading book, how many lessons do you need to accomplish in a week? Or if you have some kind of program that you're doing on the computer, how many stages or steps need to be completed in order to get it done by whatever day that you want to do. You do not have to follow the curriculum to a T. You do not have to complete every lesson. I usually go through and get rid of any that I think are unnecessary or just extra or fillers. The book Teaching from Rest was life-changing for me, coming from a public school teacher mindset to go into a homeschooling mode or zone. So if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. So you're just kind of mapping things out to figure out what you need to accomplish in the school year, so you're not freaking out in the last month of school trying to cram all of this in so you can be done by June. You want to have an idea of what you want to accomplish, so you're just kind of mapping it out. I mentioned I like to do life skills and character traits. You could map those out. You could maybe write them down. I'll drop the link for a planner that I made that I do like a month at a glance kind of thing, where I focus on like a hymn and a character trait and a Bible character, maybe a field trip. So I'll put that link in the description or the comments as well. You could also brainstorm some field trip ideas, maybe places that you'd like to go if you look ahead and see what different kind of topics you're learning about, and then research your area. You might have plenty of options to broaden their learning pretty close to where you live, depending on where you are. You might also want to plan out your Bible time. I mentioned in another video that I purchased a curriculum, or I found a curriculum that I like. You could just read the Bible together. That's sufficient too. And maybe plan out some things that you want to talk about, some different people in the Bible that you want to spotlight or focus on to help your kids see whatever it is that you're trying to teach them. And then don't forget to plan out some breaks, because you and your kids will need them. You can plan breaks, obviously, for holidays or birthdays, but then also leave some wiggle room in your schedule to take a break when you need one, when you just need a break. So don't plan every single day to a T. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room and some grace there so you have the option to take a break when you need it. And then you also want to leave room in your calendar for fun things like play dates and going to the park, any kind of extra field trip that you want to do. Those are learning experiences as well. So don't forget to leave some space for those. We try to do at least one fun kind of field trip type thing a month. Some people do it more often. Some people don't do it at all. But I think that field trips, whether it's going to the zoo or going to a museum, they're really rich learning experiences for kids and just gets them out and about. And they learn lots of other things while they're out too. And of course, they're able to meet up with friends or make new friends where they go. So the main message here is plan. Make sure you have some kind of plan in place, whether it is to the T or whether it is just a general plan. You want to have an idea of what you're doing for the year before the year starts. So you kind of plan with the end in mind. If you have any other ideas, drop them in the comments, and I hope that this has given you some value, and I hope you enjoy your summer.